this is toasted seaweed. So toasted seaweed is obviously has its natural habitat, its provenance, and its natural way is in the sea. So it's very maritime. But here we try to really create a little story. So the idea that you are right above the sea, you take it in, and you know, obviously everyone who's ever eaten seaweed or nori, it is really dry. It sticks to the top of your tongue inside. But then obviously we dive right in beneath the sea and then we come back out again. So ideally, if you place it forward or fold it once over and then place the entire seaweed onto your tongue and let it dissolve on its own accord. So try not to chew it or anything. So let it dissolve and listen to the sound. I was waiting for you guys to come back up again because it tells, you know, it really takes you on that story. You're outside, you dive right beneath the waves, and then it's that feeling of almost drowning, you know, like you're in there and there's so much water, and it's like, okay, we have to wait until you guys come up again to give you that moment of re-emergence. So it's a little, here we try to tell a little story as well with it, but while anchoring it deeply in its maritime terroir as well. So.
In Harry Potter, there's like, God, I'm not gonna remember I think it's the Goblet of Fire. Um, Gillyweed is like a thing that he takes so he can go into the lake and he can like breathe underwater. It felt like this seaweed was a mechanism that allowed me to go underneath the water and be okay with being in this totally foreign environment where I normally wouldn't be able to breathe. And as like saliva moisture like gathered in my mouth, like there was even like this sort of like waving of the seaweed inside my mouth, the way that I would imagine that it would like wave as the motion of the ocean. And that was wild. And as we surface again, like what was left of the seaweed was like moving and clumping and sort of gathering in places the way that it would, like getting stuck to people's legs or like, you know, caught on a twig or like washed up on shore. That was, yeah. I love it.
Amazing. Yeah, I love it. It's one of my favorite as well, because it really hear the sound, something that is so dry and sticking to the top of your mouth, and suddenly as soon as you have it anchored in all the sea, and then you hear the sound of the sea, the saliva starts flowing, and it's really plays with it, and it feels like the sound makes the saliva inside your mouth really flow. It's really weird. It's almost, so like I had some reactions from people saying like it's almost so strong, it's almost disturbing. It's like that I feel like you feel like drowning. Something suffocating. There's so much water and moisture in your mouth. There's not so much more moisture. If anything, there's less moisture in your mouth because it's salted seaweed. But it's again that perception of moisture, and it's I really like playing with the mouthfeel and the terroir together as well. So.
I mean, I just felt like I was dropping into this deep meditation. It felt so. It was like pleasant, and I was there, and then suddenly I went underwater, and I just was submerged into this like relaxed state. Like my smile was so visceral, like my cheeks were hurting because I was so relaxed. I think it could be like part of my morning routine. Oof, goodness.
I'm like imagining all of this use cases for this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm thinking about, yeah, like that. And do we do this with sushi? Like, we play this with sushi.
But it's amazing because you could have QR codes, which are, I mean, I worked before with Sainsbury's as well, QR codes or tech, because the great thing is we carry an amazing sound device with us at all times. And what I love about, you know, whether it's QR codes or Bluetooth, it can almost start playing it without you having to actively engage with it. So you could be somewhere and having the headphones in as well. I mean, I love all the applications for that as well, especially now that we are more digital based. The idea that enhancing our consumer or just our experience of life and being together, and it's amazing because we're just having a digital experience, which, and you know, in essence is very two-dimensional, but we're having something almost metaphysical because we're using so many of our senses. We're eating the same food, we're having this. So I think it's amazing about breaking the, you know, like that fifth or like sixth digital wall as well. The idea of almost it's more real than being real sitting around a table and just having, you know, like beer and crisps. So I think it's really interesting how you can actually use certain elements to have this communal experience that is often not given when you're having a digital or virtual version of something. So I find that really interesting. Plus, obviously, just modulating flavors very much to your own liking. The idea of I can, you know, like as you said, you like coffee, I like coffee sweet. Maybe that's every time you go into a certain coffee shop, you'll have a certain frequency you can download, which is calibrated to your flavor profile or preference.
Well, even like being able to use all of these tools to like prompt or trigger an experience. Like this last one made me almost feel like I had listened to an album before that was like a shamanic journey. So like drums and like a guided experience for like what to go and look for, like when you're in this meditative state. Oh my God, like how rich that meditative experience can be. Like you're talking about, Sarah, just using tools like this in like your thoughtfulness and expertise and like collaboration with these artists, like what incredible experiences you can create.
Mm. Yeah, more meaningful experiences as well, because an experience often is played at you, from a very two-dimensional side. But the idea that you are forced to engage, like so much that you are the sound with the popping candy, you're part of the sound, so you're part of this communal experience. So I think that's really interesting. I mean,